All right, everyone, ready to get a little geeky with me today? We're going deep on customer journey analytics.
Ooh, yeah. Love this stuff.
Analytics can sound intimidating,
Sure.
but really it's fascinating once you get into it. We're basically talking about how businesses are using data to understand their customers better, right? Like every single step a customer takes.
It is. It's kind of like following a trail of, as you said, digital breadcrumbs.
Exactly. And that's actually a perfect segue because our guide for this deep dive is Digital Breadcrumb Edition 1.1,
Great book.
written by Muammar Lone. Now, what's really cool about Muammar is that he's not just an expert in the theory of this stuff, he's actually built tools that companies use to put this into practice.
Yeah, he really gets into the practical application, which is, I think, what makes it so valuable.
Absolutely. So before we get lost in the data weeds, I think it's important to answer the big question: why should anyone care about customer journey analytics?
Well, I think everyone listening has probably had at least one experience with a company that left them frustrated.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Like their website was impossible to use or their customer service was just awful. Customer journey analytics is all about helping businesses identify and fix those problems, to try to create a smoother and more efficient experience for everyone.
Okay, that makes sense. But I have to admit, the idea of companies tracking every single thing I do online,
Yeah,
it makes me a little uneasy.
I get that. There are definitely some privacy concerns there. But for now, let's focus on the potential benefits. In the book, Momar lays out these different stages of what he calls journey analytics mastery.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. And he uses this journey maturity assessment matrix.
Catchy.
I know. But basically, it's a way of assessing how sophisticated companies are in using this approach.
And he breaks it down into 4 levels, right? From
Yeah.
like baby steps to...
Yeah, to
Yeah.
like full-blown sci-fi.
Exactly. So level 1.
That's where companies are just starting out.
Okay.
Their data is probably all over the place. It's not really organized. And they're only getting a very fragmented view of what the customer journey actually looks like.
So like trying to put together a puzzle where half the pieces are missing.
Yeah, exactly. But as they move to level 2, they start connecting some of those data silos and getting a clearer picture. Still not the full picture, but
Getting there.
yeah. Then at level 3,
Now we're talking.
things get really interesting. Now companies can actually orchestrate experiences across all these different channels.
So like if I'm browsing for shoes online
Uh-huh.
and then I walk past a physical store.
They could send you a coupon for those exact shoes right to your phone.
Wow.
Based on, where you are and what you were looking at online, it's about creating a seamless experience no matter how the customer is interacting with them.
Okay, that is impressive. But then there's level 4,
Oh, yeah.
where things get a little Minority Report.
A little bit, yeah. That's where AI and predictive modeling come in.
Uh-oh.
Companies can start to anticipate what a customer needs before they even know they need it.
It's like they could read your mind?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, before we spiral into a sci-fi dystopia here,
Right.
let's back up a bit. How are companies actually doing this? Like, what are the tools involved?
Well, Mumar lays it all out in the implementation toolkit section of the book. First, you've got journey mapping, which is, well, pretty much what it sounds like, mapping out every step a customer takes.
Exactly. And that can be really helpful in just getting a clear visual of the entire experience.
And then you need the technology to actually integrate all of these different systems that a company is using, right?
Right, like their website, their CRM, their email platform. It all has to talk to each other.
Which I imagine is a huge undertaking.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
It often involves using specific customer data platforms and that kind of thing.
And of course, there's the question of cost. Like, this all can't be cheap.
No, it's definitely an investment.
Yeah.
But the point is, it's not about collecting data just for the sake of it. It's about using that data to create a better experience for the customer, which ultimately helps the business. It's about finding that balance between data and the human touch. Which brings us to a very important question. In this world of algorithms and predictive models, what happens to the human element? Like, are we all going to be replaced by robots?
A lot of people are asking that.
Rightfully so.
And Muammar actually addresses this head-on in the book. What's interesting is he argues that human skills are more important than ever in this new landscape.
So it's not about humans versus AI.
No, it's about humans and AI. He calls it a hybrid approach.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What does that look like in practice?
Well, imagine AI doing all the really heavy lifting with the data,
Okay.
like identifying patterns and potential problems, maybe even suggesting personalized offers. But then you've got humans who are stepping in to interpret those insights.
So AI is like the super efficient assistant,
Yes,
but humans are still the ones calling the shots.
exactly. And that's where things get really interesting. It's about bringing together the best of both worlds. AI can process massive amounts of data, but humans are the ones who can understand the nuances of customer behavior and apply that understanding to create a truly great experience.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we actually make sure this collaboration works? Like, how do we bridge the gap between the data scientists and everyone else in the company?
Well, that's where data literacy comes in.
Ah, yes.
It's not just about having a few data experts locked away in a room somewhere.
Right.
It's about fostering a culture where everyone in the organization, from marketing to sales to customer service, understands the basics of data and how to use it to make better decisions.
So it's like giving everyone a crash course in data analytics.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about equipping people with the tools and knowledge they need to interpret data, ask the right questions, and make those data-informed decisions. And Woolmar actually provides a framework for assessing the skills that are needed in this kind of hybrid environment.
I remember reading about that. And it wasn't just about technical skills, right?
Right. He emphasizes the importance of what he calls soft skills, things like customer empathy, collaboration, and an innovation mindset.
Okay. I'm seeing a theme here.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's still all about people, right?
Right.
AI can analyze data, but it can't truly understand human needs and motivations the way that another human can.
So even in this data-driven world, it's still about human connection.
Absolutely. It's about being able to translate those data points into actionable insights that actually resonate with real people.
It's like being a translator between the language of data and the language of human emotion.
That's a great way to put it.
I'm thinking back to those different levels of maturity we talked about earlier. At those lower levels, you probably need people who are really good at organizing data, building those initial journey maps.
Yeah, definitely.
But as companies move up the levels, they need people who can do more than just analyze data. They need people who can take those insights and turn them into these really creative, personalized experiences.
And that's where those soft skills become even more crucial, because it's about understanding customer psychology, thinking strategically, and coming up with innovative solutions.
So we've got AI doing the heavy lifting, but humans are still the creative force behind it all.
Exactly.
Okay, but here's the tough question. If we're talking about AI crunching data, predicting behavior, even suggesting personalized offers, is there a point where this whole field just becomes fully automated? Will there even be a need for humans in the future of customer journey analytics?
That's a big question, and it's something that Muammar grapples with in the book. While he recognizes the potential of AI, he doesn't believe it will ever fully replace humans in this field.
So you're saying there will always be a need for that human touch?
I think so, yeah. He uses the term hybrid a lot to emphasize that the future is about finding the right balance between human and artificial intelligence. Because AI is a tool.
Mm-hmm.
It's a powerful tool, but it's still just a tool. And humans are the ones who set the goals, define the values, and ultimately make the decisions that shape the customer experience.
I like that. So for all the listeners out there who are worried about robots taking over the world,
Right.
sounds like we could breathe a sigh of relief, at least for now.
For now. But the key takeaway here is that it's not about humans versus AI. It's about figuring out how to best leverage both to create something truly great.
Okay, that makes sense. So let's say there's a company out there that's just starting to explore customer journey analytics. What advice would you give them? Like, where do they even begin?
Well, I think the first step is to figure out where they are on that analytics journey. Like, are they just starting to collect data? Or are they already using some more sophisticated tools? Once they know that, they can start setting some specific goals. What do they want to achieve with customer journey analytics? Do they want to reduce customer churn or increase lifetime value? Or just create a more positive overall experience?
And then once they know their goals, they can start looking for the right tools and technologies to help them get there.
Exactly. But it's not just about the tech. It's also about having the right people in place.
Right, like we were talking about before, training the team, fostering data literacy, building those soft skills.
Yeah, all of that. It's about creating a culture that embraces both data and humanity, where everyone understands the importance of the customer journey and feels empowered to make it better.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I'm starting to see those digital breadcrumbs everywhere I go now.
Me too.
It's kind of amazing to think about how much data is being collected and used to shape our experiences all the time.
Yeah, it really is. And it makes you think about the choices we make as consumers. Like, what data are we sharing? And what kind of future do we want to create with it? It's a reminder that we're not just along for the ride. We have a voice in this. We can influence how companies use our data.
That's a great point. Before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing that really struck me in the book. Mumar talks about the importance of building a humanity-first approach to technology.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, hey, don't forget about the actual people behind all these numbers.
Yeah, and it's so easy to do that, you know?
Totally.
You get caught up in the algorithms and the dashboards and all the technical stuff.
Right.
But ultimately, it's about connecting with real people.
Because that's how you build loyalty and trust.
Exactly.
That's what makes people want to come back.
That's why I love this whole idea of a hybrid approach. It's not about picking one or the other. It's about figuring out how humans and AI can work together to create something really special.
It's about using technology to make us better, not to replace us.
Right, exactly. It's about using data to create experiences that are more personalized, more empathetic, more, well, more human.
I love that. And I think that's a really important takeaway for our listeners. Customer journey analytics isn't just some abstract concept. It's impacting all of us every day.
All the time.
And we have a responsibility to make sure it's being used ethically and responsibly.
We do. It's about finding that balance where business goals and human values can coexist, where companies are using data not just to sell us more stuff, but to actually make our lives better.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you really hope our listeners walk away with today?
I think it's this. Customer journey analytics has the potential to be a really powerful force for good. It can help businesses create these amazing, seamless experiences for their customers. But it's up to all of us businesses, consumers, technologists to make sure it's used in a way that benefits everyone.
Because technology isn't inherently good or bad.
Right.
It all comes down to how we choose to use it.
And as consumers, we have choices to make too. We can support companies that are using data ethically, that are prioritizing transparency and human connection.
That's such an important point. We're not just passive bystanders in this digital world. We can make our voices heard.
We can. So the next time you're interacting with a company online or even in person, think about the data they're collecting, the insights they're gathering, and how that's shaping your experience. And if something doesn't feel right, don't be afraid to ask questions.
Demand transparency.
Exactly. Hold those companies accountable.
This has been such a great conversation. Thank you so much. I feel like I've learned a ton, and I'm definitely going to be paying closer attention to those digital breadcrumbs from now on.
Me too.
And for our listeners, if you want to dive even deeper into this topic, definitely check out Muammar Lone's work. His book, Digital Breadcrumb, is a fantastic resource.
It is.
And remember, the future of customer journey analytics is still being written. It's up to all of us to make sure it's a future where technology serves humanity, not the other way around. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.